In my first 10 videos on probability, I made use of Venn diagrams. In the first 9 of those videos, I've emphasized that the Venn diagram is really the most natural, intuitive way to approach the problem, solve it as quickly as possible. In the last video, video number 10, the Venn diagram is just a little bit useful. After solving those problems with Venn diagrams, I have consistently taken a step back and talked about notation and formulas, including the general addition rule, the general multiplication rule, the multiplication rule for independent events in the last couple videos, also of course the complement rule. And I've said, these formulas are going to be useful for harder problems, and they definitely will be. However, in this video, I want to emphasize that the formulaic approach is actually quicker sometimes and perhaps even less confusing. If you try to draw a Venn diagram with this one, you might get more confused. It's better to quickly solve it with formulas. So we're going to quickly use the general addition rule, complement rule, and multiplication rule for independent events to find a probability. Let's see how quick we can go. An insurance company pays hospital claims. The number of claims that include emergency room or operating room charges, or both, is 85% of the total number of claims. So that could be thought of as a probability. The number of claims that do not include emergency room charges is 25%. So by the complement rule, 75% would include emergency room charges. And the occurrence of emergency room charges is independent, there's your key word, of the occurrence of operating room charges on hospital claims. Is that a reasonable assumption? I don't know. Okay, we're going ahead and assuming it's true for the case, for the situation of solving this problem. Calculate the probability that a claim submitted to the insurance company includes operating room charges. Okay, again, let's see how quickly we can go. So we're told that 85% include emergency room charges or operating room charges. 0.85 would be the probability of E or O, E representing emergency room charges, O representing operating room charges. Union represents OR. Use the general addition rule. This would be the same as the probability of E plus the probability of O minus the probability of E and O. Intersection means and. You have the independence assumption. Go ahead right away, replace the probability of E and O with the product of their individual probabilities, P of E times P of O. Okay? Now we can fill in what we know. Again, the probability that we do not include emergency room charges is 0.25, so by the complement rule, the probability that we do include emergency room charges is 1 minus that, 0.75. This is 0.75. This P of O is the unknown. That's what you want to find, the probability that it includes operating room charges. Let's call it X. And here we have the same quantities, 0.75 and X, but they're being multiplied instead of added. Okay? So now it's just a matter of solving this equation for X. Subtract 0.75 from both sides. X minus 0.75X is 0.25X. Divide both sides by 0.25. X is 0.10 divided by 0.25, that is 0.4, and that is choice D on the sample exam problems, okay? So there we did it. Solved that problem pretty quickly, and it's definitely the best way to go. If you took the time to draw a Venn diagram, it might not be that helpful because you would have to think about the independence in terms of the Venn diagram. So it's definitely better to use the formula in this situation.